Q1. Q1 at screensaver comes on. Right, ladies and gents, I've been doing my work for you. I'm in agony right now, and I mean in agony. You won't think so listening to me, and it's my own fault. I'm on certain tablets, me, to neutralise stomach acids, because I've only got a small stomach, quarter of a stomach. I make the same stomach acids as what you do. The only difference is it's far too much for me. So I'm on certain tablets, special tablets apparently, to keep my stomach acids low. Otherwise they burn me to death. And no one else's fault but my own. I'm being burnt to death because I should have got more tablets and I haven't them. So keep me busy and occupied, because I'm wide awake. You can't go sleep when you're like this. You can keep drinking tea and that dilutes. It's brilliant. Now notice I got a nice clean AR7 there, and I thought what I'd do for you YouTubers here is go into the library department of Computer B, and this stores a lot of the videos. It doesn't store them, they're all externally stored, but the point is this machine that we're on here, this is the machine that deals with all them videos and edits them for you and all that, and this machine here tends to be the uploading animal, and the other machine that's in the workshop and the other machines are doing audio really. The one in workshop's doing manuals and stuff, and hardly ever on internet. This one's just the one that's nearly always on the internet, and the other one that's around is just doing audio. But getting to the old videos here, I said to myself, we've still got some video footage of that AR7 when we very first got it, and perhaps it might be a good idea to re-show them videos, all the videos that we have on the AR7, and just rerun them all as one series. Now at one time on YouTube, for those that remember, they'd only allow you to have 10-minute videos. 10-minute videos, and you had to be strict. If it were 1 second over, they wouldn't allow it to be uploaded, I'm telling you. So you used to restrict your videos, and that's how you used to end up with part 1 and part 2 and all of that lot. That's how it really started, really. Anyway, I found some of these 10-minute slots here, and the very original film footage, and you can go back here and look at the workshop and see the changes. It's quite amazing. Anyway, I'm going to post them to you, but I'm going to post them all together in one. I'll just put them together in one film, so you might see it say go to this video, go to that, but take the notice of it. And also in that video there it says, if anyone's got a brand new AR7, I'll give you £100. It's like a bit of a challenge. This was years ago. Take no notice of that challenge. It does not exist. I haven't got the £100 to give you. And also it says in there, quite a mistake, it's always been a mistake, it was a mistake from the minute Mark made his lips say it, and that is, he says that that's the only emergency radio. It's not. There were other radios at the time. What I meant to say was, that's the only 40 channel phase lock loop emergency radio that they classed as an emergency rig, because all the ones just tended to be 2 and 3 channel, you know. Anyway, I'll play you all the videos of the AR7, and then on the tube there should be all of the videos there then. Alright, apart from anything else that we do in future, but I'll put them all together for you. That's what I've been doing. I don't know whether you've noticed, I've been posting some old videos back up for you, and then they're there then, aren't they? They're there because some of them are worth watching, and they might help people, you know. Some of these, like this one now, I'm just uploading that old President Grant video. Let's fix a President Grant. It's poor, it's crap, you know, but some people will say that really might help someone, you know, doing a power supply issue or out, mightn't it? So anyway, I'll get back on with this. Hello ladies and gentlemen, hello ladies and gents. I always say that. Have you noticed at the beginning of my video I always say hello ladies and gentlemen? There might not be any ladies listening. They might all be right ugly and fat. That's beside the point. Hello ladies and gentlemen. Might not be no gentlemen. They could all be right bleeding swines. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, no, seriously, folks, on a serious note, C major, that's a serious note. How about, what's the chances, I'm talking to old CBers out there, is there any old CBers that go right back in time to when CB was first in England? Well, folks, I'm sure some of you old timers out there will remember radios like the Tiger 40 and really old originals like that. This one's an original, folks. This one is a President AR7. How about a challenge to you? If you can find a brand spanking new President AR7, brand spanking new, apart from the person that I bought this off eBay, because the person I bought this off eBay, he may have some more. So you don't count. That's John. John, if you're watching, you don't count. But anybody else, if you can find a brand spanking new President AR7, I will give you £100. You have to prove it to me on video like I'm proving it to you. Just check this box out. Can you see, that's where the box opens up on them little flaps there. You see there's a little flap there. Well, there's also one here. Just look at that. Can you see? It actually says emergency radio. It's one of the smallest phase lock loop digital radios that ever came out. I say digital because its phase lock loop system is all digital and it all runs on one crystal, whereas for those that remember the old CBs was 22 channel crystal controlled with loads of crystals in, etc. This was one of the first radios that just used one reference oscillator, the 10.240, and a digital readout. It was a great big thing in its day. Anyway, I've just opened the box and there you can see the animal there. When I got this animal, folks, it had never ever been powered up. Never been powered up, and to be, I've run it since. I've tested the animal and I run it on a variable power supply here. Monitor. This is the current meter and this is a voltmeter. And first of all, I told it to produce no current and crept it up very, very, very slowly like that all the way until I got right up to 13.8. And you know, and I actually monitored it and actually watched how much current it would draw in. You can set this power supply so that it'll only allow a certain amount of current anymore, and it'll just shut voltage straight down if radio, because capacitors do dry out, and even though this radio has never been used, it's still possible that capacitors are polar. So anyway, can you see that, folks? See that little white thing that's on the back there from brand new? I don't know what that's there for, like a little piece of cardboard. But look at its mains lead, folks. Just look at that, still tinted on end as it would be. Anyway, look at this. Just tell me, just tell me that ain't nice. Just tell me. I'll take it out of the bag. Will you just be patient? I'll take it out of the bag. Them ladies and gentlemen are very impatient here. I don't want to crease it, you see, in any way. I want to keep it all as is. It's very difficult with one hand. Oh, nearly dropped the bladder then. Just look at that. Just look at that, folks. Can't you see? Can't you see how mint that is? The brackets, by the way, are screwed to these as standard. That's how they are. That's how the brackets actually are on. And you know that little film piece of plastic that's over the what the model number, etc. there at the back that you see? It's obviously still there. Everything's just as original as it would be, and it is President AR7, a marvellous little animal in its day, really was, and they work tremendous. They really do. They're a marvellous little radio. You put a nice good modulated mic on them and I tell you, you'd be surprised at the audio quality that you get out of them. Look at that, folks. That's just something else. I'm sorry about the buzz, by the way. It's because I'm on a what they call it, a fixed power supply of this camera. Just look at that. It's beautiful. One of the smallest, known as an emergency radio. That's what it says on the box. It actually says on the box, this radio could save your life. Even tells you how to make an emergency call and all the rest of it. And I've spoke all the way around Europe on one of them. All the way around Europe. Just look at that, folks, eh? I never thought I'd ever see a President AR7 so clean, never mind absolutely brand spanking new. And being the first person to power it up, just imagine this, folks, I bought this last week, and I've still of course got all the guarantee form here, all the look at that, President's 2-year warranty. I wonder whether I should fill it in and send it off. Say, hey, I've just purchased your radio there. 1978. And then of course a little booklet there that tells you how to actually make an emergency call. All the do's and the don'ts of actually making an emergency call. Very, very difficult to do with one hand, opening it up, but it tells you first of all how to set it up and goes through all that rigmarole, and then how to where to locate your car, what circumstances are involved in actually calling for an emergency, i.e. must be a matter of life or death. Go to channel 9, be accurate to tell a person you're talking to. The monitor is trained in all types of emergencies, and if there are injuries, how many people are injured, and all the rest of it. You know, it's unusual. You won't find that on any other CB, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. The only CB that was designated as an emergency radio was an AR7 because of its physical size. I can tell you that's true. Obviously, its owner's manual there. Just look at the condition of that. Can you see? Dun, dun, dun. And another book there to tell you how to go on if you're a CB, breaker 19, breaker 19, or Roger. How to go about all the rigmaroles. That's quite a thick book. That's quite a thick book. That it's got loads of pages in it, and tells you everything. But anyway, that's not the point. So the deal is still there. Can anyone out there find a brand spanking new President AR7? Got £100. Brand spanking new. You can get it from anywhere you want in the world. Must be brand spanking new. £100. Eh? That's a good enough offer, isn't it? Must be brand spanking fire new. £100 offer there for anyone that can find one. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, from the President AR7, which will just be going back in its box as it is, going back up into my loft and never probably to be used. Might just put it on and listen to them Yankees coming in when they come in. So any Americans out there, when that Super Bowl's up and running, I'll be listening to you on my little AR7. Goodbye, folks, all the best. 252 said that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, good evening. Good morning in my case. My mate's invented a time machine, and I went out for a ride with him last week. It was brilliant. I said, hey, take us back to 1977. Hey, what do you want to go there for? I said, I'm going to go and buy an old CB and bring it back and play around with it. Got myself an old 40 channel President AR7 here, brand spanking new. I've just told you about the time machine. Why don't you believe me about the time machine? You believe this is an AR7, don't you? You just don't believe about the time machine. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Stuff you. Some of you people, you don't believe nothing. I'm fed up with you. Anyway, folks, here we have a brand spanking President. We are President AR7, 40 channel, AM radio, and it is brand new, folks, it really is. And it's not worth a carrot. Yes, it's a shame, but it's not worth an absolute carrot. Why is it not worth a carrot? Because it works on the frequency that nobody bothers with these days. 26965 to 27405 AM. Anyway, with it being brand spanking new condition and me having all the equipment, I'm going to I'm going to do something with it. I'm going to do something with it. First of all, I'm going to convert it, folks. I'm going to convert it. Just what I'm doing. No! Can't believe it, ladies and gents, it's like Christmas. So here I am, I've got it all out of the packet, as you can see, and I've got it coupled up to a power supply. Looking right forward to it. They said there's loads of people on. Oh. Alright. Hello? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello? I think I've been ripped off. Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello? 19 a copy. I've been ripped off. I've been ripped off. Hello? Please, please, someone say hello. Oh, I'm fed up with it. Anyway, as you can see I own my own blowtorch. You've seen my blowtorch, but forget that, folks. I've got a better idea. A radio that's in such lovely condition, we can go live and direct to Budget Bill. Budget Bill, could you show us how you convert a radio of this nature? Budget Bill, could you show us how to convert this radio right now? Budget Bill, please.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Budget Bill. I've got a bit of a speech impediment, but I'm going to convert the radio. I'm going to take this silicon chip out. I've nearly done it. Look, she all told about it. Oh, yow! Oh, that should be... That's it now.
Put your blowtorch down, man. Put it down. Right, sorry about that. Right, it's obvious I'm not going to be allowed to do out with that, then he says. Cobra Man says I can't do out with that, so I won't. But the thing is, I can tell you, right, that when I was 17 year old and I had a 148 GTLDX Cobra and I loved it to bits, as you do, right, I used to every now and again put my little AR7 on with the same turner plus 3B, and when we were all on AM years ago on the old 19 as we all call it, right, they couldn't tell any difference. You know, if I never said a word, they used to just say, then you know, they never said stuff like, hey, have you just changed your radio out? It really did work well, folks, but they just don't look so much, do they? But they did. They were a good little old bus, but so heartbreaking in my opinion now to see them so redundant. But yeah, you know what I mean, they were good, they were good. Just Europeans on there now, no UK stations. It's a shame. So I went hunting around the internet, right, to see if I can find a broken down one, of course. And my mate Keith, hiya Keith, he sent me two up. He sent me two old radios up with Keith from down south. Spoke to you on Echo Link, Keith. Hope you're keeping okay, old pal, if you're watching. But he sent me two up. Not sure whether they were both brought down or just one, I can't remember. But anyway, I did the conversion with this, but it's a bit too scabby. It's lost all its chrome here and I did it with it and it works reasonably well, so I decided to put it back as an AM rig and look for a cleaner one, you see. Look for a cleaner one. But basically what I want to tell you, folks, is the reason why I had to do it is because A, that was my first ever CB, one of those, and they're sentimental to you, aren't these CBs? Now when you see it go to the wall and no one loves them anymore, it's heartbreaking. I used to love my little baby, as you always love your first radios. So I just wanted to see if I could do something with it. Not to sell it, of course. No one would ever buy it after you've done it, would they? But anyway, you see, the thing is, the chip that's in these, the phase lock loop synthesizer, was absolutely revolutionary in its day. Let me explain. It's a ROM chip. ROM meaning read-only memory. Whatever conversion you try and give that chip, the chip will operate the lock detector in the chip will activate the TX mixer, and the radio just won't transmit. Literally anywhere below 26965 or anywhere above 965, it'll just shut it down or even shut receiver down. So there's not you can do about that because of it being a read-only memory chip. Channel selector gives it its code, and if you try and give it another direct programming pin code or out like that, well, see you later, it says. So But you know that all you people out there, loads of you steal the chip out of these radios, don't you? The TC9106, and you put it in your little audio lines and your UK rigs, don't you? Seen it done billions of times. I've got all the blue tack to prove it, and the little bits of solder that were rolling around. But the thing is, folks, right, I said to myself, well, if they can do it like that, by interfacing them two chips together and switching the phase detector pin, because that's the only difference between the two chips. One drives the VFO to go up to UK FM's frequencies using the phase detector pin, of course, and the phase detector on the 106 does the same job, except it doesn't drive it as high, just drives it to mid-band frequencies. Anyway, as Delia Smith says in one of her cooking videos,
Here's one I made earlier.
right, so this is the clean AR7. I got myself two from Keith, if you remember, a scruffy one and a clean one. This is the cleaner one, okay? And cut a long story short, there's me little FM detector that I just made up for the receiver. All I did is I just put the TC9119 directly in. But I am eventually going to switch them just like you guys do for the UK, and I'm going to switch two chips together, switching the phase detector pin, so it'll call at 1 to 40 mid and 1 to 40 UK, reading the right channels. Right? I've had to slightly alter the VCO slightly, not the tuning, but just slightly how it works, because it was trying to change frequency on either the receive or the transmit, and that they need to be both smacked together, you see, of course. So there would be normally, but for some reason they weren't. I don't know why that is. I didn't really look into it, but I just altered how the reference oscillator gets it sniffed to mixer to phase lock loop. Anyway, I also had to broadband the TX and the receiver so that it'd do 4 watts on UK and 4 watts on mid-band, and also have the same amount of receive on mid as UK. The mistake I made though, folks, is not just variboard, but I also made the mistake by using the AN240 FM detector chip. I shouldn't have done that. I should have stayed with the Uniden, and you will hear later on in the sound quality that that's why the lidding on this radio is because I'm not happy with it. I'm going to have to make the receiver sound a bit smoother. I've tried to open it up a little bit and make it so that the bandwidth of the last IF filter on the 455 is a little bit more wider, and I've done that by adding this ceramic crystal here, this ceramic filter, and I've just stole it instead of it having a as UK. The mistake I made though, folks, is not just variboard, but I also made the mistake by using the AN240 FM detector chip. I shouldn't have done that. I should have stayed with the Uniden, and you will hear later on in the sound quality that that's why the lidding on this radio is because I'm not happy with it. I'm going to have to make the receiver sound a bit smoother. I've tried to open it up a little bit and make it so that the bandwidth of the last IF filter on the 455 is a little bit more wider, and I've done that by adding this ceramic crystal here, this ceramic filter, and I've just stole it instead of it having a, I can't remember what it had, was it an 8K or something, but I've just altered it from a small to a wider one, just so that the bandwidth of FM is just that bit wider, because everybody tends to over deviate on FM these days. Anyway, we'll hear it further on, folks, but it's going to be switchable AM and FM. That's why I've left audio transformer in, and it's going to be switchable 1 to 40 UK. Okay, can you take 5 please? It's now on 27 78125. It's early in the morning though, folks. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? It's a bit, to me it sounds like some people have the impression that they're off frequency and others are smack on. And it's because of the width. Basically, the filter. Well, shut. The filter that's in here in the last IF is just a little bit too narrow. It just wants widening up a bit, and it'll allow FM capture to be a little bit wider. But it does work all right. By the way, it does transmit. Hello, can anyone hear me? Is that you, Dave? Hello, can anyone give me a radio report, please? Over. Hello? Hello? Is that you, David? It's the ugly one on a pile of on a not so good radio. Over.
I'm only getting £1 off you. How are you receiving me? Because I'm on this radio that's service the other day.
You're on a Cybernet set by the sound of it. Over.
Yeah, why is it bad?
Well, I'm on a Cybernet receiver as well. You sound like you're on a Cybernet. What you on, Dave? Over.
I'm international Concorde.
That's just what you sound like. I'm on a Uniden, but with a Cybernet FM detector in. Over.
Well, it sounds really fine to me, but I'm only getting a quid off you.
I'm only doing about 1.5 watts of carrier.
Really low noise and that, and I'm getting just £1 off your mark, but you're absolutely fine. Maybe a little bit high range in your audio compared to what I normally hear.
Yes, well, I normally run quality equipment. David, just excuse me, you've been filmed by my camera. Testing the AR7 on transmit, ladies and gentlemen. Got a counter looking at its frequency. It's not keyed up at the moment, you know. And got a deviation meter looking at its FM deviation. Okay? Key the mic. 1.3. You see it, folks. 1.3. You think the listeners will know the 0.3, the 0.1 of the difference? I don't think so. Okay, let's look at the deviation on this pile. Hello, hello, hello. Deviation meter says about 2.5k of deviation. Can anybody hear me out there? Hello, can anybody hear me? Over. Can you give me a radio check, mate? Can you go up one and give me a radio check, please? Hello? Hello? Can you give us a ring check, mate? Seriously, what does it sound like, this, over? You've made my day, old lad. What radio does it sound like, if you're guessing? What does it sound like, mate, over? You'd say it with a what? Speak up a bit.
It sounded like a Cobra or a TriStar.
Cobra or a TriStar? Thanks for the 30 plus signal. Alright, thank you, whoever that is. Thank you very much for the radio check, sir. Thank you very much indeed. Hey, that last person really made me laugh, folks, there in that clip. Sounded like a Cobra. He went like from one extreme to the other. He said it sounded like a Cobra or a TriStar. It still kills me now. I made it 10 minutes ago. Anyway, I have to try and get another radio check, folks, because everybody just seems to sound groggy on it. And it's not, because that's why it's the AN240. That's why they all sound like I'm on. It just sounds like I'm using a multi-mode 2 here or a TriStar. It sounds like, that's what I'm saying when he said it sounds like a TriStar. It doesn't. Sorry, pull yourself together. Hello, can anybody give me a radio check, please? Over. Hello, can anyone give me a radio check, please? Over. Could you tell me what it sounds like, mate, please? Over. Does it really do sound okay? You've no problems you can hear? Over. you've made my day, old lad. You make sure you have a good, safe journey, old lad.
You might take care.
Not wrong with that, folks.